Boss, I want to talk to you about how to start a pharmacy delivery service and particularly how to start a CVS drug delivery service, not just CVS, but all the other pharmacies out there. And it's really important to understand that there's a lot of cash people are making in this industry. But I want to say one thing right off the bat. You do not require a van for medical routes for many of them, unless the route has, say, many boxes, say 25 to 50 boxes, then you need a van. But if you don't, let's say if you have fewer than 25 boxes, you don't need a van. Don't let anybody razzle dazzle you trying to tell you like, hey, you need a van for like a medical route. You do not need a van. Okay, so this is really important. So I want to really talk to you. Let me give you the overview here. Like before we talk about the nitty gritty of starting a pharmacy delivery service, I want to give you the overview here. So is pharmacy delivery profitable at all? People are asking questions all the time. Yes. I'm here to tell you, after 20 to 30 years being in this industry, our team has gathered enough data to tell you right off the bat that yes, there is money to be made in let's say as a prescription courier service. This is a very profitable venture. The major reason for the popularity and profitability of pharmacy delivery is the ease and convenience it offers at much lower prices. Okay, I'm not even talking about what happened with like 2 years ago with COVID. People talk about like COVID. It was even crazier. Because during COVID, a lot of medical couriers, they were making money delivering like COVID tests. Now that COVID is hopefully behind us, you still have opportunities in the industry anyway. Okay, you have a lot of opportunities in this niche. So there is money, and you can actually make like around $125,000 all the way to $250,000, depending on the geography you are covering. So if you are in a large metropolitan area like New York or LA, you're making more than if you were, in somewhere on the suburbs or in the rural areas. Okay, so it's all about the geography you cover, and it's really important to understand that you actually, if you want to get, if you are a medical courier and you want to get clients, you can work with a large national pharmacy chain, let's say CVS or Walgreens, or you can just try to find your own clients. So this is totally possible, not a problem at all. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here and to have this quick convo with you today about, CVS drug delivery business, medical delivery, all this kind of things. So when we talk about the big players in the industry, you have Walgreens, you have CVS Pharmacy, you have Publix, and then you have Rite Aid. Okay, you have a lot of players in this industry. So here are the steps I really want you to follow. So the first thing you want to do here is if you are trying to open a medical route or a medical delivery business, you want to indulge in market research and understand the pharmacy industry. See, as I said before, there is money to be made in the industry, but the thing is that it depends on where you are at. So it depends on your geography, the states you want to cover. If you want to cover like a one state, one area, one county, you want to cover one metropolitan area, it's really depends on you. So we're talking about what? You want to really understand whether you have pharmacies in the areas. So let's say if you want to cover Chicago, or you want to cover New York, or you want to cover Austin, Texas, for instance, you want to ask yourself, how many pharmacies do we have? And if you want to be an exclusive CVS drug delivery service, then you have to ask yourself, how many CVS or how many Walgreens do you have in the area? So it's really important because quantity plays an important role in this industry, particularly in this industry, because it is a metric-driven business. So you got to ask yourself, would you be expanding into a medical courier business? Would you want to do something like, do you want to subcontract for CVS? Do you want to work with hospitals? Do you want to work with clinics, with labs, with hospital, So you got to with universities. You have research labs at universities, because when we talk about medical delivery, it's not just about like delivering like medication. You can deliver other stuff too. You can deliver tests and whatnot. So, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. I'm explaining to you how to open a medical delivery business. So step number one, you need to do a lot of market research. Not a lot, but you need to do a little bit of market research to have a clear idea about the geography that you want to cover. Okay, and if you do a good job, you will know who are the main players in your industry. You will understand a lot better who your potential customers can be. Okay, so you will know who your rivals are, who's already occupying the turf that you want to get into. You will know what kind of clients you can imagine. Okay, and again, when we talk about clients, do you want to work with large national pharmacy chains such as CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, and Publix, or you want to work with I would say B2C private clients like hospitals, research labs at universities, clinics, and so on and so forth. So this will help you clarify or narrow down the type of scope you want to cover for your medical delivery business. Next thing you want to be clear, boss, you need to have a clear idea what your customers need. See the kind of customers you want to deal with, right? When we talk about medical delivery in general, whether you have a client such as a large national pharmacy chain, or you have, let's say, a medical facility, or you have a hospital, or you have a clinic, whatever. A lot of clients, they really pay attention to speed, right? When we talk about medical, I mean, you have a sense of urgency that comes with anything that has to do with medical. That's number one. Number two, they care a lot about, I'll speak about regulations later on, but they care a lot about privacy and especially patient privacy. So when we talk about, let's say, medical delivery, there is an important set of laws that revolve around HIPAA. And you gotta acclimate, you gotta acquaint yourself with that law. Don't tell me that, I don't care. I'm just here to make money. No, boss. If you really want to survive in this industry and you want to steer clear of any issues with the feds, you want to understand what HIPAA stands for, okay? And so you also want to pay attention to the fact that your customers want to have discounts on the kind of deliveries you offer. Of course, they want the deliveries to be fast, but they want you to be competitive. So pricing is an important element because, see, this industry can be competitive depending on where you are actually, where you want to open the business. So you are going to have maybe fewer or a lot of competitors. So you have to be cost conscious here, and your customers also want to be able to rely on you for automatic refills. Okay, because a lot of customers, especially when you think about B2C, like individuals, like if you have folks at home, they're relying on automatic refills, and they're relying on folks like you, on medical delivery services like you, to help them get their refills. Okay, in some cases you might have to do free deliveries. Yeah, I mean, this happens. So you got to really plan this in your system, also in your operations, to say, you know what, maybe once in a month or once every 2 weeks, I'm gonna have to do free delivery for in order to win more business. Okay, so there could be that also. And also, it's really important to understand that you want to make sure that you stay in contact with your customers, so you let them know the status of the shipment you just picked up. So step number 3, you need to understand the laws and regulations. Boss, do not play with this. Okay, this is so important. And when we talk about anything health related in this country, you have the feds and the state authorities. They are really just involved, and there are no questions asked. If you F up, they are going to come get your ass no matter what. And we're talking about big lawsuits. Okay, big lawsuits here, and so do not F up at all. So make sure that you pay attention to a lot of things. I mean, I spoke about HIPAA. That's very important. There are other laws depending on the state where you are hauling from, like the states where you're hauling from or hauling to. Because if you're doing an OTR, if you're doing the interstate, and you're doing medical delivery in interstate, then you are subject to more laws. Okay, so you just remember that the sale of prescriptions, medicines, and other medical supplies are subject. This sales is subject to laws and regulations depending on the demographics. For that, you will need to look into the specific laws relating to the state or city you are starting your pharmaceutical delivery business in. Make sure you figure out the following things when trying to sort your business according to the laws and regulations. So where and to whom can the medications be delivered? What user data can you store and share with others involved in the process? What information would you record, and how do you intend to store and secure it? Okay, in this case, the goods are essential, but the person and the information attached to each order is more sensitive and needs to be secured. Okay, so pay attention to FDA, Code of Federal Regulations, HIPAA, and so on and so forth. Boss, I want to quickly remind you once again of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to start a medical delivery service, how to start a CVS, how to start a Walgreens drug delivery service. Okay, how to actually win medical routes. And so step number 4, you want to think about the legal entity, things like licenses and permits. So this is where you want to really set up your business properly. And you can set up as an LLC, as an LLP, as a C corporation, as an S corporation. You can be a single member LLC or a single member LLP, doesn't really matter, but you need to solidify the legal foundation of your business, of your medical delivery business. Okay, and this is the opportunity also for you to look for you to seek all the licenses and permits there are necessary for you to actually operate legally in the states where you're at. Okay, so this is important. Now, this restrictions rather, this set of regulations will depend on the state where you're at. So if you have questions, let us know in the comment section. We'll certainly let you know based on your state and county. The next thing I want you to do, boss, is that you have to establish a business plan. Okay, and the thing here is that if you want to have a very successful medical delivery service, you got to have a business plan. People say when you talk about business plan, people say, well, this is too complicated. This is confusing. Blah 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 blah. I keep telling you, you don't have to do it yourself. If you have no idea what I'm speaking about, don't do it yourself. It just means that your forte, your strength is elsewhere. Right? I mean, nobody's perfect. People do stuff. You just want to focus on where you are good at and do what you're good at. And what you're good at is to have your ass on the wheel and just drive, right? Or trying to find revenue, trying to drum up revenue, trying to find new clients. That's what you are good at. So you want to outsource the writing of the business plan for your medical delivery service to a third party. And again, please do not go to those cheap ass websites and download a template and just copy and paste a few things in here and there and you say, I have a business plan. It would not work. You got to put in a lot of work. Either you do it or you just pay somebody else to do it. But you got to take it very seriously. There is money to be made in this industry, but you got to do the hard work up front to be able to reap the rewards later on. Okay, so you want to have a business plan. You also want to think about what kind of funds you need. Okay, in terms of loans, lines of credits, and credit cards. This is kind of important. So, but when we talk about business loans for your startup medical delivery service, this will depend on a constellation of factors, including your personal credit, the business credit of your nascent delivery business, right? Because sometimes you can have a startup, but if your startup is like 3 months old or 6 months old, it might have already a payday score, a Dun & Bradstreet, credit score, for example, or it might have an Experian IntelliScore V2. So you have the possibilities to get a business loan for your medical delivery service. Okay, now you can get that even if you're a startup, you can get that through the bank where you are currently at. Okay, if you currently have a relationship with the bank, you want to start from there. Because it's always better to start where you're already known. Next thing I want you to do here is to think about the location, right? We're speaking about the office here, or you can say, you know what, I don't have time, or I don't have money. I want to do everything online, or I want to run this business from my house. Totally possible. Whatever you choose, just make sure that you think about the market, because see, you want to think about competing pharmacies in the vicinity. Because see, if you choose like Walgreens, for example, you want to see what are the competing pharmacies, what are the drivers that those pharmacies are using. If they don't have no drivers, then you can just go and actually propose your services to them too. There is no problem for you delivering for multiple pharmacies. If you want to make money, tons of money in this industry, you want to deliver for multiple pharmacies, multiple CVS, because we are saying CVS drug delivery business, or we're saying Walgreens delivery business, we're saying Publix delivery business, drug delivery business. But hey, at the end of the day, you can actually have a lot of players. The same way you can actually sign up for 1, 2, 3, 4, or 10 delivery driver apps. You can also sign up for 1, 2, 3, or 4, or even 20 clients. It's all about generating revenue, right? It's not about being loyal, whatever. It's not like if you deliver for Walgreens versus Publix, or you do it at the same time, you actually sort of violating some kind of laws. No, there are no conflicts of interest here, because if you're delivering drugs, not drugs, you're delivering medication, then hey, listen, I mean, it's not really a big deal. Okay, so think about your physical store if needed. If you want to have an office, think about that if you need it. If not, we just do things. You run things from home, and to start, and you also might want to think about hiring staff. If you think that for you to actually cover the client needs that you have, maybe you might want to hire another driver. Maybe you are not going to be at the wheel yourself. You are going to be in the office, maybe running things from behind the desk, and you are going to hire a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 drivers, so you can constitute a fleet of vans, cargo vans, pickup trucks, whatever. And those drivers will actually help you deliver. Okay, so all the possibilities are on the table. It really depends on how you want to structure your business. But at the end of the day, just make sure that whatever geography you want to cover, whatever city, whatever state, whatever tri-state area, whatever metropolitan area you want to cover, you do have the right van though. Because see, even though I said at the beginning of this show that you don't need to have a van to deliver medical routes, to cover medical routes, you still need to have the proper vehicle depending on the geography. Like if you are driving on a hilly geography, you want to have the type of car that can actually sustain hilly geography. Hilly geography or whatever. You get my point, right? The next thing I want you to do here is to think about marketing and branding strategy. So when we talk about actually opening a medical delivery service, the thing is that, as I think I've said this before, you're not the only one in the industry. I mean, I don't care how smart you think you are, how experienced you think you are. Like sometimes we hear some viewers, they send us emails and they actually, or they even write comments to us, say, yeah, I've been in this industry for 40 years. I know everything. I'm like, listen, you've been in this industry for 40 years, but you haven't competitions every single day. As a matter of fact, when I'm talking to you, at the very time I'm talking to you right now, you have new players that are entering the medical delivery service right now, and not really far from where you are at, by the way. I mean, so you have new players coming in the industry in small cities, in big cities. You have everything. So you need to invest in marketing and branding strategy to make sure that your business name is up there, that a lot of pharmacies, a lot of labs, a lot of medical research labs at universities, a lot of hospitals, a lot of clinics, a lot of pharmacies know about you. They know that your business is good, that they know that you deliver, they know that you are very good in terms of compliance, in terms of punctuality. Those are things that really will make you earn business, earn money, generate revenue down the road. Okay. And the last thing I want you to really do here is to optimize the delivery aspect of your medicine delivery business. The thing is that if you have a lot of routes to cover, or you have a larger sort of geography to cover, you need to have some kind of software or apps, for that matter, that allow you to optimize your delivery routes. This becomes important if you have, let's say, a lot of deliveries. For example, you're doing something that has a relationship with like something that's kind of similar to an Amazon DSP. So if you're running a business that is similar, that's analogous to an Amazon DSP, then you might need to have some kind of software that will help you actually reduce inefficiencies in your delivery routes. So if you are able to have let's say a software tool that allows you to optimize your delivery routes, this is really good. You are going to save a lot of cash down the road. Now you might spend like a 20, 30, 40, or 50 bucks per month to sort of get that software. But the value that the software is adding to your business is way more than that. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I'll just explain to you how to open a medical delivery service, and I give you the overview about the industry and the steps you need to follow to make it happen. Thank you. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.